You're listening to the Art and More podcast with your hosts, Nathan and BR. Nathan is a Canadian illustrator with a couple years of military experience, and BR is a British anarchist that moved to the States. Both are passionate shooters and community builders. Together, they run the Seaburn art page. Enjoy the show.
Hello, and welcome to the Art and War podcast. I'm BR, and I'm out here in Sweetwater, Tennessee on a beautiful October evening. We're about a week out from Halloween, and we are at Noddy After Dark, a event to proliferate machine guns, night vision, suppressors, all that good stuff that's not usually accessible to civilians out here in eastern Tennessee. We've got people from all over Appalachia. It's kind of a new event in its second year, and we'll be talking to a lot of the vendors, organizers, things of that nature, and most importantly, getting behind some machine guns, suppressors, and nods, because poor boys, we don't usually get our hands on it. So this is a good opportunity to come out, get your hands on that, get some time behind things that are otherwise restricted from our lowly peasant hands, and get to experience that stuff. So if you're out in Appalachia, definitely check it out next year, 2024. Otherwise, this will be a little taste of what's out here. All right, let's get into it. I'm here with Opie, who has set up Noddy After Dark, big old community event out here in Appalachia. We're in southeastern Tennessee, and it's been a hell of a time. We got suppressors, we got night vision, we got machine guns. It's a hell of an event,
the perfect trifecta.
Absolutely, dude. Nathan sadly couldn't be here with us, but he sent me and his steed, and I'm glad I came.
So you guys get to go tell Nathan what all he was missing out on.
I'm gonna text him right after this and be like, dude, next year, come out.
Absolutely.
So, you mind telling the people a little bit about what Noddy After Dark is? This is our second year, right?
Yes, for sure. So guys, I've been truly blessed from the very beginning. We got started with patches, just making patches. If anybody ever saw Trump Train, which was the Thomas the Train with Trump's face on it, that was something I'd come up with. Had no idea what I was doing. Didn't copyright it, anything like that. Just made patches. The patches led into trying to promote ourselves and our business for patches, led to us going to these shows, led to us actually starting to do gun reviews and all that because we were already shooting anyway. I then started getting invited to all these cool shoots, man. Like, the gun industry has really blossomed in the last, I would say, decade for sure. Yeah. And they have realized that the FUD mentality is almost dead. Yeah. And so this new generation of shooters who want to be kitted out, who want to be with all the cool Gucci gear that they see everybody have, and then they realize that it's a possibility. Yep. So one of the hardest things with this stuff, guys, it's super expensive. So if we can eliminate any of that time, any of that money that you spend wasting just testing and sampling stuff, we've done a good service for you. And we tried to provide an outlet to bring all those things to you guys in one spot. We were on just absolute beautiful property from my buddy Scott's. It's just perfect Tennessee hills, man. We just had a great weekend, perfect weather. There's Airbnbs all over here. So, I mean, it's just truly just a perfect spot. I've been a big believer that East Tennessee and really this part of the country in general could be the mecca for the gun world. And we're starting to see all these dots start getting connected together. And I'm just trying to do my part, bring these opportunities to the community, because usually they just focused on the shooters and the YouTubers for a long time. Yep. Seeing events like this and seeing the locals actually get involved and how it can completely turn their life around and maybe bankrupt their accounts a little bit, but in a good way. They're good investments. You know, you buy this stuff, it usually does really retain value for a long time. And you guys are making our part of the country safer by making it more dangerous, in my opinion. Absolutely. It's all about community and being together and having everybody out here. And to me, it's just been an absolute humbling experience to see the support this year. Yeah, I mean, what you're doing out here is you're proliferating all sorts of, and cross-contaminating all sorts of people on night vision, machine guns, suppressors, all the good stuff that people should be able to get from day one. They should. And, it's stuff that has been so neutered in this country. People don't usually get to have that up-close experience. Now you've got guys who, they might be in their first or second year of shooting. And they're coming here. And it's like, this is normal. It's out there. Yeah, it's accessible. And we got a guy here from France. I think he is into competition shooting over there, but they have weird laws and limits, that people don't realize how good we have it here. In our opinion, we are freedom purists. It still sucks because we're still definitely under a tyrannical foot. But we believe machine guns, suppressors, and all that stuff should be able to buy at your local grocery store. Absolutely. This stuff is a right, and we are fighting for the right for everyone. So anybody that talks shit, fuck them, because they don't realize that we are actually doing this for them too. I want my enemy to have what I have, make it a fair fight.
Fair enough. So out here, like, has there been any kind of big gatherings before Noddy After Dark in this kind of space for our generation?
Not really any gatherings, especially here in East Tennessee. We did a prototype shoot in a way. We had all the guys come out here. It was about 15 of us. I rented a bunch of night vision, and it was really me in that testing period of my life. So I was trying to figure out, can I rock with a single, or can I actually save up a little bit more, eat some ramen noodles, and get the duels that I've dreamed of? So I rented about 5 sets, duels, helmet, lasers, and we made this little movie, and I instantly got about 10 of my buddies hooked. So now that this is done, about half of them have their own night vision as well now. And this is exactly what this event does. You come out here, anytime somebody shoots something suppress, I gotta have it.
Yep.
Anytime somebody shoots a machine gun, I gotta have it. Then you show them night vision and you say, hey, look at the stars, before you put this helmet on, what do you see? They put the night vision on, they look up. I've been lied to my whole life. All that's up there, it's just incredible what is actually visible when you have some good equipment. And we're here to try to, prove that you can get into this and it's not as unobtainable as people think. Civilians can own full autos, they're a little expensive, but civilians can also get FFL licenses and SOT and go a little bit easier way. Yeah, you do have to kind of abide by the law a little bit, but everybody likes not paying tax stamps and not waiting. So if you guys can get your SOT, I highly recommend getting into the industry in some sort of way. That way you can enjoy these freedoms a little bit better and a little bit cheaper and a little bit quicker. If not, there is plenty of people around here that are more than willing to show you a good time.
Absolutely. I mean, we're seeing the decentralization of the industry. Like, guys are just like, oh, I can be an SOT.
Yep.
And you've got like tiny little shops, all sorts of vendors here who are just doing exactly that, and it's fucking awesome. Because, I mean, when you're a little group of 5 guys who might all work together, and it's like, this could be a business, man. We know a lot of guys who need to get equipped in our area.
Yep. Absolutely.
Show it off in person. I mean, we've got guys like, it's like a garage sale of night vision.
It really is.
The ticket prices are a little bit higher than your average yard sale, but I mean, it's all right there on the table, accessible. It's awesome.
Yep, and we tried, we had an absolute wonderful turnout and support from our vendors this year. I think we had just under 150 actual raffle entries. Now I think we've had probably 50-something people show up for the weekend, just show up and come in. So we've had about 200 attendees, which was double what we had last year. 30 vendors, so that's triple the vendors we had last year. And we had enough raffle prizes for 125 out of that 150. So to talk about them stepping up, they are seeing the light of this new direction of the industry, and we're all just loving it, because I truly believe we're living in the golden era of night vision, suppressors, and all this stuff, because competition really does build good quality and lowers the price.
Absolutely.
Fortunately for all of us. So anything I can do to help, guys, I'm always available. That's what we're about here, and we really want to see you guys at Noddy After Dark next year.
Hell yeah. I mean, making it citizen-centric, that is the future.
That's right, baby.
All right, well, anything else you want to share with the people about Noddy After Dark?
Guys, don't let the government tell you what to do. Live your life, screw the government, fuck the ATF. Your dog is safe because you are dangerous. So do your thing, do it well, be a patriot, build your community, make it better. That's all I got.
Opie, man of the people, thank you so much.
I'm trying, bro. Thank you guys for coming out.
Absolutely. All right, I'm out here with DJ. What are we shooting?
All right, so right here we've got a lovely PSA premium multicam AR-10 308 running a KGM suppressor and a Vortex PST2 3 to 15. This is a deer hunting rifle. There's air quotes there. Deer hunting rifle.
Are we talking about the kind of deer that walks around on 2 legs?
Sometimes they come up on you, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got a mag here with 5 rounds. I'll let you shoot it. Basic AR functions. So you put it in, send the slide home, bolt home, and put some rounds out.
Happy days. All right. Well, thank you, sir. I'll swap you.
Sounds good. So what I'd recommend is either holding here or cross your hand under here and turn it down. That lets you brace on it.
Oh, like all the way up here or what?
It's where it's really comfortable. You want to tension it. There's not a lot of recoil on this thing though. So there's a narrow steel standing, I think, right in the bottom of that ravine. You've also got a sideways steel about 100 yards out in this direction. Okay. Also, up there.
Oh, the gong?
You have a gong.
All right, let's go for it.
So if you want, you can actually look through the top here. That gives you your direction, and then you can drop into the scope.
There we go. Okay, we found it finally.
Just a little to the right. Hit. Little to the right. Hit. Little high right again. Just a little over it. So what we have here, almost the same gun.
Crazy break.
This, since we've been shooting next to a 50 BMG all day, I wanted to prove I could make noise too. So we have a 12.5 308 with a cookie cutter comp. This is a pistol, for clarity's sake. This is bag dumping into trash.
I'm down with that. Man, that break does a lot.
Yeah,
Holy
isn't it great?
Shit. Yeah.
And I peaked your mics.
Yeah, they're like, oh my fucking god, this is not what I'm built for. Oh yeah, well, thank you, sir.
Yes, not a problem. Thank you.
Fuck yeah.
Wearing all of this, it's good that you can't smell this show. Holy fuck. Like, I'm gonna cover up my tattoos on my arms. Everyone else walking around in like shorts and a t-shirt. This is impractical.
He smells like a British rose. Don't let him fool you.
Well, thank you. Well, speaking of which, I will introduce my guest. So, I'm speaking to Kerry Slone aka Stilettos and Shotguns.
I'm thrilled to see you. It was great meeting you finally. You know, we've known each other for a few years.
Yeah, last time we spoke, do you know when it was?
So I was just trying to remember this. It's been about 4 years.
It was April of 2021.
Okay, so
Which
it feels
feels
like
like
4
a
years.
decade ago,
It
yeah.
does. There's a lot that's happened since it. Gosh, has it been just 21?
Yeah, I just checked. I was like, holy shit.
No kidding.
Yeah. So a few things have happened since then.
A few?
Well, for you, for one, well, for both of us. So
Yeah.
we're it's funny saying this. Both, I guess, West Coast migrants, which is funny for me to say because I was a European migrant beforehand. But
Right.
So we've since made the move from the West out to Appalachia. So you mind telling us kind of what prompted that? Because I love the West, but
Washington?
yeah, Washington. yeah.
Pretty much like,
that makes sense.
yeah, okay, interview over, deuces, right? I mean, that's it, right? No.
Well, I mean, why not Idaho? Why Appalachia?
So, well, I'm not formally in the Appalachia area. I'm actually in southeast Georgia. I'm a few hour drive. We came close to it though. And we were looking even in like the northwest Georgia area, which is like the base of the Appalachian, mountains and stuff. But I was born in the South.
Okay.
My husband was born in what they call, the joke is the real South, Virginia, in Southern Virginia. So being back in the South was just a natural transition for us. But things got so crappy in Washington that we just had to bounce.
Yeah.
Like it was just watching what happened, particularly after all of the crap with the mostly peaceful protests and stuff. And, and I'm all, you know how I feel about said law enforcement
We'll get
individuals, right? So, I mean, I wasn't completely anti, but like these people kind of went a little nutty, and where I lived in particular, the people kind of went off, like everything became identity politics instead of just being able to be rational, and it made them ugly people and just mean and miserable. And I was I owned a day spa, and I couldn't take it anymore. So my husband retired, and the day he retired, we pulled in our doormat that literally says come back with a warrant. And within an hour, I got a visit from one of our alphabet agencies.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Is this after we spoke last?
Yeah. This is FBI came and visited.
Nice.
Yeah, well,
all of my friends have spoken to the feds. I have not gone to visit. Oh fuck, I shouldn't say that.
Well, I guess they are now, right? Never mind, cut it. Gotta edit that out.
I'm jealous. No, like, am I not interested enough?
Well, the best part about the irony here, the immigrant, that is probably the most, I would say
Careful.
arguably one of the most vocal, no, that's what I was going to say, anti-government, and you're the only one that's not gotten a visit.
All my friends get a visit, but I'm not worth
Yeah,
the time.
yeah. Well, maybe we need to have a
I've
little
just
party, right?
fucked myself on that.
Yeah. So well, and of course they didn't. The best part is they thought that they had me scared. I will say.
That's what those visits are for.
And I
It's
knew,
never about
right?
anything real.
Nah,
It's
nah.
like, hey, we can do this.
Because I was in DC on the 6th. I wasn't there for Trump. I was there because if I wanted to watch if there was going to be some sort of legitimate, because what I could tell you, it was not. That was kindergarten playtime. Like it was not an insurrection at all. But if something were to happen, I'm a history geek, right? I wanted to experience, not necessarily personally, but I wanted to observe history being made, right?
Yeah,
Well, apparently I did.
That's what people used to do. They used to sit on the sidelines of battlefields and just watch shit pop up.
Watch stuff going off, right? I mean, now would I've gotten involved if I needed to? For sure, right? I mean, I'm not, I'm not afraid to fight, you know what I mean? But you don't fight unless you have to, right? I'm definitely of that mentality.
And you don't fight when it's a bunch of boomers walking around
Right.
in plate carrier, 511 plate carriers,
Right.
no plates in them, no guns.
Which are really feds out there, yeah. Like stern, like you recognize these feds, and you're like, okay, we see y'all. You know what I mean? We're not going to play this game, right? Nice try, though, But, so, yeah, I got a visit, and I'm very well versed in my rights and Constitution and all that kind of stuff, so they didn't get out what they wanted. But, here's the thing, right? And I'm very defiant. I would not cooperate the way they wanted me to.
So what were they kind of like asking you? When they came to your door, what did they immediately say it's about January 6th or what?
Uh-huh. Yeah, they did. Well, normally I wouldn't have opened the door.
Yeah. What
but
did they look like?
But
Did they look like
I'll show you a
suits?
picture later.
Oh, you going?
Yeah, I'll show you. Yeah. So no, they weren't in suits, and this is what kills me is like people were calling bullshit because they were like, "Oh, these guys weren't real feds. They weren't in." I'm like, they're not going to show up in kits, right, and make themselves targets. Like
I mean,
that's
they
not.
do sometimes.
Well, they didn't. So they were just in plain clothes, and they showed up about 6 months. It was in 8 months after August. Like I said, we had literally, my husband had retired, pulled in the doormat that said come back with a warrant because we were listing our house to move.
Yeah.
And they showed up within like an hour or two right after us pulling that doormat in. Otherwise, normally I wouldn't, right? Total side note, and I'll make it quick, but normally I would never answer. Who answers the door to people knocking anyway, right? I mean, we just don't do this shit. So, but where I was sitting is in a place I never sit in my house. And it happened to be right in front of the door where had the textured glass, so you could see somebody, you just couldn't see who. But, so they knew we were there. You know what I mean? I was like, well, crap.
Yeah.
I will say, and then this is no way an excuse for government and their bullshit. I could have had worse guys show up. Like, they were definitely not as aggressive as I was expecting them to be.
Just following orders kind of
They were, well, not even, yes, but it was definitely like the checklist thing. But this is what you'll love. They're like, right, because it's that classic, just like on TV, they had the old guy and the new guy, right? And like the old guard, new guard, and the guy's learning, and and the old guy says, let me be clear, you had every right to be there. Like, in his tone, right? You could tell that he was not mad about it all, and I was like, okay, I feel you.
Interesting.
I feel you, right? Okay, all right, you got a pension coming, like you're just trying to stay quiet for now. He said, but who we're after he said, the ones that we're mostly focused on are the ones that attacked the cops.
Well, they're in your agency.
I looked at him and I said, well, maybe your fucking cop should have gotten out of the way. And my husband walks to the door and he's like, I think this is what you want to hear. To check the box, because at that point, my husband's like, oh, shit. Here we go. Because he looked at me and I was like, it's my building. Like, I paid for that building. Like, I'm not. Yeah, I became friends with, Adam, the lectern guy, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And I'm like, I mean, people are like, he shouldn't have taken that. I'm like, it's his. Like, I'm kind of not mad about this, So, like, I'm not really sure what the problem is here. Just build a new one. It's not like that one didn't have historical, not that I know of.
It belongs to the taxpayers.
It belongs to us, right?
Everything in DC is free. If you can pick it up, like, none of it's nailed down.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
All right.
So anyway, then we ended up moving down here, primarily it was to homestead. We wanted to come down here and into the South and homestead. It's a great place to do it. I became an herbalist, so now I'm the apocalypse doctor.
Hell yeah.
You know?
I love how everyone's kind of settling into the, like, Mad Max, what they're going to be up to.
For sure. And, we've always been like that. So when everything, shortages and all the drama hit with 2020, we were laughing, right? Because people were after stuff and, And my friends, and I know y'all get this, and I know a lot of your listeners will, because, you know, they're prep and emergency and, you know, survivalists and stuff. They laughed at us until they needed something to borrow. And I'm like, oh, now y'all want my, yeah,
so
fuck off.
I was crazy. Now I'm a friend.
Right. Yeah, same thing with the guns, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, they only offend you until they defend you.
Oh, during the riots, I had all sorts of people like, hey, can I borrow a gun? Like, no.
No, you can't.
I could have.
That's a felony. I would never do such a thing. Do you realize I can't just loan you a gun? That's illegal. Get out of here. Like, no, and besides, my shit's too nice. I'm not going to have you
that's a no. That's a hard no.
Get it taken away. So we moved down here, and of course, as you're learning,
yep,
this is where it, like, these people are genuinely kind. People are genuinely nice to everybody. A lot of it's because they're religious, and that may not be my thing, but, you know, whatever keeps you a decent human being, cool, right? I'm cool with it. But everybody minds their own business, but they're there to help you if you need it. It's just a different culture.
People kind of understand what community actually is.
Absolutely, and we're here for it. Now we can develop our own community, and now that you're here, within a realistic driving distance.
Yep.
So we're thrilled to see that, you know, when we found out that you had moved down to this region, we're like, yeah, it just keeps getting better.
Getting the gang together.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
Like, I'm getting friends all the time like, hey, how's Appalachia doing? And I'm like, I don't want to be the guy who's like, because I've still got my Arizona plates, and I'm like,
sure.
I'm like, it's not Californian, but these guys know I'm not from here.
Right.
So I'm still like, I'm integrating. I understand.
Yeah. Yeah. We're like, I'm here because I don't want that crazy here.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, when they see my Arizona plates, it's like, oh, you're moving out of Arizona because Arizona's getting sunk by the Californians.
Yeah.
Now you're coming to our place. Are you guys just gonna do the same shit to us? And it's like,
you know, no, I wasn't a Californian that moved to Arizona that now has to get out. No, I get it.
I was just a European, which is...
That should tell you, well, a lot.
Yeah, no, to be fair.
Yeah, that you had to get, if Arizona had gotten so bad that the Brit had to leave, get out, that should tell you something itself, right?
That's the thing, like, I met so many Brits out in Arizona because it's the direct opposite of England. So many were moving out there, and I'm like, wait, fuck, were they like me Brits, or were they like Californian kind of Brits?
So do they have, so I want to ask you, if I can ask you a question about that, because I know like Germans and Asian cultures, not so much Latin cultures because they kind of live it a little bit, but they are obsessed with that old, like Russians love it too, that old West culture, right? The Arizona. Yeah. So is that a thing do you think that's why a lot of Brits moved to Arizona, is because they're kind of that Wild West kind of culture, the history of that?
Yeah, I think they kind of want to, you know, raw dog some freedom, honestly. Like, so many of them are just like, holy shit, this is legal? It's like, yeah, buddy, you can do that.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Like, I just went and bought this today, same day, got it on my hip. Yeah, mm-hmm. It's great out here, man.
Yeah, you get to walk out with it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You know, and it's interesting coming down here and, you know, being in Georgia, especially Georgia's, I dare I say, and spin it up, we're probably more gun friendly than Texas. Like Texas, like they're very proud of their gun culture and this and that, but Georgia it's a whole different beast with guns down there, and it's, you know, and maybe it's just because it's such an old state.
Yeah.
But they're pretty gun friendly. I mean, you know, down there, and they're trying to make it a sanctuary state. I don't know if you know that. Georgia's working on that.
I did not.
Yeah, so sanctuary state meaning, for the people that you don't know what that means, is that they're trying to essentially make it to where any law enforcement entity in the state of Washington does not have to comply with ATF intervention or actions in, because the law system, you know, because they have to have the joint crap to go in. So they're trying to pass that now. There was a law that just passed, or SCOTUS just ruled, struck down that one in Missouri.
Yeah.
So I'll be curious to see how that plays into this. But Georgia's still on, like, they're going to figure it out.
I mean, the thing with that is I'm like, okay, how serious are we? Because it always strikes me as such a political ploy to be like, oh, it's a sanctuary state. Okay.
Right.
How much are you willing to bet your pension on that?
Yeah.
Like, will you actually stand and be hardline about this?
Or
are you just trying to get reelected? And often it seems to me like an election ploy. Like, put your money where your fucking mouth is. Don't enforce the NFA at all.
Yeah, and I can see that in Georgia. Missouri, probably Missouri. Missouri's, have you ever looked at like the laws? Like, have you ever seen like books that are printed on their laws? Missouri's gun law, there's very few. It's actually pretty gun friendly. It's a pretty gun friendly state. So Texas, though, I think they would comply. I think that they absolutely, if it were for the safety of the people or some bullshit angle.
We don't want to make it easy for all these Hamas insurgents.
Right.
Start arming up.
Right. Yeah, I could see them using some angle like that. Then you get that boomer, because it's still a little boomerish there. Sorry, Texas, to my young people in Texas, but y'all probably know I'm telling the truth a little bit on that. So, so come on up. Come on out to the south. We'll take care of you.
That's the thing. I mean, happening right behind us, we're setting up for the night shoot.
Yeah.
About to break out the lasers, the suppressors, the machine guns, the night vision.
Yeah.
That culture the Minuteman culture is alive and well out here.
Very big, and this is an area, and I'm sure you're probably, if you didn't already, and I know a few of our friends from our previous years they've created full clubs, we'll call it. Where they go out, where they're out practicing and training and learning things, and we're here, we love it, we think it's great, and then they're connecting and figuring out comms between the regions and stuff, and I'm like, this is the way.
Yep.
This is the way, young people. This is the way.
It's so funny watching people who are timeline-wise closer to the original Minutemen sit and shake their heads and go like, "What are you guys doing? This is so extreme." It's like, motherfucker, I'm just trying to be American.
Yeah. Like, this is the way. This is our life. This is our lifestyle. Like, this is the way we should be living. This is the way government was constructed for us to live. And I could go in a rabbit hole about that, as you know, with the Constitution and stuff. But we were not created to be dependent.
No.
Upon the government, But what I've noticed, and especially as I've been doing this, working because I have that nonprofit as well.
Yep.
We the female, and I'm doing some really great stuff with it. But I do have to work within the confines. I have to color in the lines a little bit more there. So like stilettos and shotguns, obviously, is a very different voice than we the female. A lot of people don't know that I'm the same.
That's interesting, because it's the same space, the same gun space, and on one side, you're like, black flag waving, like gun rights,
absolutely. Well, and that's kind of that's part of what the gun community loves and hates about me, is I'm willing to call out their boomer bullshit, because they're hypocrites, and this industry is really not great for women. It's still disgusting for women, because there is a legitimate level of patriarchal bullshit that goes on, and there are women that stay quiet and allow it because they benefit from it. And then it really hurts being able to bring other women in. But the minute I say that, then I'm a man hater, and I'm, because there's the far right side of this, especially with some younger generations, are with backlash to the feminazi shit. And I'm like, whoa, a lot of us women are in the middle, man. We just want to be able to defend ourselves with a gun, so that we don't get raped.
Yep.
But both of y'all are making it hard. So if y'all could just chill out, and this delusion, I don't know if you've seen this, like the Instagram homesteader.
You talking like trad wife kind of stuff?
So I'm all for that kind of life, but understand, that ain't fucking linen dresses out picking apples. Like, homesteading is hard.
Oh yeah,
work.
She's gonna need some coveralls.
Right, and these women are like, well, you want to get rid of the 19th Amendment, I support that. I'm like, you realize that this 1800s mentality you want to go back to, your husband could beat you and not get in trouble for it, right? Like, there's, not everything is that far extreme, right? But everything has to go one way or the other, and nothing can kind of come to that balance in the middle. So I just want to be left alone with my animals, and
it is such a big ask.
Right, apparently it is from both sides, right?
Yeah.
Shit. I just want to leave me alone with my guns and my animals and my little farm, and my friends. Like, I just really, again, it isn't that big of an ask. Well, I would think, but everybody on every side wants you to pick a side, and
I don't want anything to do with any of you. I'm gonna disappear off in these hills. I'm gonna live a good, peaceful life. And if you try and fuck with that, you can join the canoe club.
Right? Exactly. What do you think? Very rarely you ever see my husband. Like, you got to meet him, and that's unusual. He never comes to these things because he's like, I don't want to be involved with you people, And he was in the military for 24 years, and he's definitely disenfranchised. Definitely the disenfranchised veteran, for sure. He's like, man, if I knew,
a few of those.
Yeah, he's like, if I knew then what I knew now, and he spent a lot of time South China Sea stuff and Middle East. He wasn't active duty. He was more counterterrorism intel, that kind of stuff. But he's like, if people knew how much we stirred up. Like, we just watched Sicario again the other day for informational purposes, kind of made some notes and stuff, right? But yeah, it's he's just done. He just wants to go hide, and he's perfectly content going out in the woods and being, gone all day and not coming in until dinner time. And
I mean, honestly, to avoid the shitstorm that they're trying to brew in this country now, to distract from all the nonsense and looting they have going on, the only way to win is not to choose a side and fight, it's to not fucking participate.
That is absolutely, you are right. That is absolutely it. And that is, I believe that's where most of us really are, right? Because social media is one of those, for the good and the bad of it, met amazing people.
I mean, all of these people.
All social media people, right? Like the young gal that was here with me earlier. Yep. She didn't know anybody and came out on her own.
Hell yeah.
And we're going to go do karate in the garage later. Like, you know what I mean? We just became best friends.
We got so much room for activity.
Yeah, absolutely. So she's, so it's great, right? But at the same time, social media absolutely convinces people, on both sides too, convinces people that the majority of people think this way. When really they don't, like most people don't hate all trans people because most of us really know that very few of them are weird pedos and they just want to live their lives and mind their business, right? But it's those extremists that have to make it bad for everybody. Actually, those are the people I feel the worst for, are the genuine people that just want to live their lives because they can't speak out because one side wants to come after them just because of who they are. The other side is making them look like, I'm like, man, what a shit, that's a shit position to be in,
I actually don't want to kick up a big fuss. Oh, so you support Nazis?
Right, right. Like right now, like, so are you like, you're a conservative woman. Like, I'm conservative leaning. That doesn't mean that I'm a Republican. Yeah. Nor does that,
I would say the same. Like in my personal life, I'm fairly conservative.
I lean more conservative, right? But I'm definitely I'm a Gen Xer, so I definitely have more of that centrist mentality. It's like Elon Musk, right? He had somebody did a cartoon of him and he shared it because it was true. He's like Elon and he was in the center of the political line in whatever year it was, right? And then it was Elon now and it shows him like way over here in the conservative thing, but it's actually because the line moves, not him. He stays in the same spot, but they keep moving the goalpost. And I was like, yes, and that's exactly it, right? I mean, like we're not moving, especially my generation. And it's great because people forget about us. People have forgotten that Gen X is going to be taking these positions, these old guard positions, and we think more like millennials and Gen Z. But people forgot about us, and we're like, keep going, boomers, guys. We're not going to take your sides when this goes down, right? We're going to take the side of these young guys, and so they're like, are you Israel or are you Palestine? I'm like, I'm on the side of women and children not being killed. That's the side I'm on. Yep. Why do we have to fucking kill people? Stop killing people, you fucking twats.
It's good for business.
Yeah. Oh, that. Is that Raytheon and how anybody checking on Raytheon and
hey, just follow
Halliburton? Yeah, how's that great? How's that going lately? Anybody checking on Lockheed Martin and see how they're doing lately? Yeah.
Their boardroom is just non-stop pie, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure it is, and now they've got it on two fronts and yeah, it's just silly. So, my advice to everybody is just, grow food, buy guns and become ungovernable.
Hell yes.
If they can't govern you, they can't control you.
Absolutely. And that's way more American than choosing the right or left.
Oh, absolutely.
People really underestimate their power.
And so we're just sitting back going, like, those of us that are the quiet, peaceful ones, you don't really want us involved.
Yep.
You really, right? Even cameraman back here is like, yeah, you just don't want us involved, man. Yeah, just let us alone because it's not going to be pretty when we do have to get involved. And unfortunately, I think that's where we are. I don't think it's going to be an if. I pray that it's not a win, but I'm really, my instincts are beginning to really tell me it's going to be a win, not if, I'm kind of team balkanization right now.
Likewise, I think
I'm kind of a fan of balkanization.
I think breaking it up is going to make it a hell of a lot less disastrous. A bunch of smaller hammers are a lot better than one massive fucking hammer.
I agree. And I think and I already have this theory about this, right? Like you're going to see the South, right? The South will do its, right? They'll solidify into one balkanized state. You might get some of that Midwest, some of the lower Midwest states involved, like Missouri, Kansas, kind of thing. You see them. Texas is going to do their own thing. They already know, right? They're already telling us. It's in their constitution. They're going to do their own thing. I think that the West Coast is going to they'll probably trade Idaho. Idaho's going to be pissed. I know, sorry Idaho, but I think it's what's going to come out in the negotiation.
Oh, they're going to be their own thing. They'd be like, fuck.
Or they'll go with the Dakotas and Montana, which that's possible, right? You've lost Arizona, you've lost New Mexico, Nevada, Colorado. They're going west. I know. And then you're going to have the New England side of this, right? And this is kind of how you'll see most of this break out. Michigan might just become part of Canada. But I think what we're going to see that cracks me up is we're really going to see like all of these pious East Coast, West Coast, snotty, all of these Southerners and redneck stupid people, when they start starving because they don't have the food that we give them, and all of the like, you guys realize that some of the biggest companies you shop at like are based out of here, right? I think that it's going to change the game, and then we can say, okay, no, this is the way shit's going to be. If you want what we've got, this is the way it's going to be. So I think that down here in our modest little South, it's probably going to fare better than they think it will, because I think we learned some lessons the last time we tried to break off.
Negotiation power.
Yeah. So I don't think it's going to be as bad as people think. So, but again, at the end of the day, everybody, you just have to take care of yourselves. Depending on the government in any way, they're going to have a way to control you. So grow that food, figure out a good bartering system, learn dirt medicine, learn herbalism. They can't kill the person that knows how to use the plants to stop bleeding or kill an infection.
Yep.
You know, that's what I did.
And talk to your neighbors.
Yeah, and definitely 20-mile radius, secret. Yep. 20-mile radius. Get very familiar with the people and everything around it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, well, it looks like we're starting to get into some night activity.
Well, and we should probably move out of the way. So, hey, it was good to see you, my friend.
Thank you so much for coming
Hey,
on.
thank you for having me back on, and we're welcome to the South.
Thank you.
Take care, y'all. For you, sir.
Yes, thank you
Awesome.
so much.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome. No, it's my pleasure.
I'm going to go and dump this real quick.
So what we'll shoot first is the AR-15 with a B.E. Myers Maul. There's 8, 10 rounds in there maybe. So,
where am I control?
yep. So on this one, right here in the center, there's gonna be 2 little bubbles. You feel those? Yep. You can look outside and you can see their light illuminated. So there's this rocker switch that you can see right here. If I go back one, and now press your button, just laser. So it's passive. Yep, just shooting with the dot. Holding the thumb up, hitting that button, giving you a light and laser. Yeah!
There you go.
That was not passive aiming at all, that was all with the laser. That's awesome. Holy shit.
So pretty good return to 0.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much, man.
Yeah, not a problem. Next we're actually going to do a clip-on.
Hell yeah.
UNSSR, which is the short-range clip-on optic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, I've got some rounds in this mag here, and you are cleared to go hot with that one. This is full pass.
Actually, Phil, I don't know if you'd be able to look down the scope.
Oh, actually, yeah, that'd be a cool shot. If I can get the passive shot.
Ain't that beautiful?
That's perfect.
Alrighty. What kind of clip-on is this?
So that's the Knight's Armament, UNSSR, which is the short-range clip-on. It's designed to go in front of a 1:8 variable optic or magnified optic. Gives you accurate fire out to about 500 yards.
Yeah.